Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Pluto in Aries in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Pluto placements in a natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, well, Pluto in astrology is connected with passion and desire. So having Pluto in Aries in one's natal chart, there may be much passion and desire for adventure. It could be for combat in volatile sports, firefighting, welding, arson investigation, law enforcement, doing things that are pioneering, um, speech pathology, the military. There may be very strong passion and desire if one is in the military to serve, to be able to fight for one's country, and not necessarily serve, but I would say more about fighting for the country. Aries is associated with battles and wars, combat. Um, the thing about this is, of course, this is many years in the future when this is going to happen, and the next time Pluto is in Aries, I wouldn't be surprised if assuming they still existed at that time, there may be some nuclear war. Pluto is associated with things that are nuclear. Aries, of course, is about wars and battles. Now, Pluto is also connected with power and control. So having this placement, there may be a strong desire to have more, that power and control over the physical body than most people. Really about also in terms of physical confrontations, getting more power and control by doing this. This could also be in matters with one's vitality and energy levels. There may be more power and control in matters of law enforcement, whether it's somebody that knows someone well in law enforcement or what have you. And it could also be about simply not readily being discouraged, having control, just in general, by not giving up easily in situations. And another thing about this as well, Pluto in astrology is connected with intimate relationships. So having Pluto and Aries in your natal chart, those intimate connections may be with Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries characteristics. It could be people that are very aggressive, assertive, combative, even volatile, ones that are confrontational, courageous. Could be people that are very impetuous, impulsive, outspoken, abrupt. As some examples, people that want things done in a hurry, that act with little hesitation or procrastination. And could also be people that are in an Aries profession, whether it be welding, carpentry, firefighting, arson investigation, law enforcement, surgery, speech pathology, the military, as some examples. And so there may be more collectively, I know this is generational, but it may be something where people have this, obsession, fixation with sex more so than the average person. And I knew somebody who's a prominent family member that had Pluto in her first house, which is similar because the first house, of course, corresponds with the zodiac sign Aries, and her life was very crisis-ridden, to say the absolute least. You got to look at the house placement as well with this. If you have, since I'm sure nobody has, at the time of this production video, nobody has Pluto and Aries in their natal chart. But the thing is, if you have Pluto in your first house, it could be comparable, but of course you got to blend the sign in with that. Now, Pluto is also connected with transformation, and the thing is, there may be There may be an emphasis on the transformation of the physical body. It could be the person's identity. In some cases, it could be getting, a name change. It could be entering, some witness protection program where the identity basically transforms. It could be something, with the vitality and energy level of the person, um, being aggressive in doing so. There may be impatience if somebody's making some major change or transformation. It might be by being pioneering. If the person hasn't expressed, ingenuity or pioneering ability, for a long time, it might be something where the person may feel, there's a need to change by expressing this more. And also matters with leadership as well. Transforming oneself into a leader as opposed to a follower or somebody that was content in working some kind of subordinate position. It might be, the transformation of the person by joining, like the military, the armed forces, and also too, it's just something, having, it could be done with a lot of impatience and also being in a hurried manner. Pluto in astrology is also associated with rebirth and regeneration. So Pluto in Aries may feel, there's a need, there could be there just might be simply a rebirth in connection with the physical body. Let's say if somebody, has gone to a point and they become, out of shape physically, and they were once somebody that was really, strong, vigorous, very had a muscular build, etc. And if they let the physical body go to pieces, this could be someone that has a rebirth of who they once were, of having that same, the body, the physique one may have had previously. And also too through, it could be through surgery as well in some cases. And if there's any, rebirth, say of a business as an example, like say if a business, had been obliterated and somebody wants to revive it and bring it back up, there may be more impatience with this, but the person may also be very aggressive in these matters, as well. And it may be some pioneering ability that may be resurrected, for this person, or some Aries career, whether it could be, firefighting, welding, carpentry, arson investigation, law enforcement, as some examples. Now, Pluto is also in astrology associated with death and, figurative deaths, endings. And some cases, it may be remote, but there may be, more of a volatile, type of violent ending. If there is, during the time when this transit takes place many years in the future, if there is a nuclear war, it would be understandable that there would be more volatile, endings for people, sadly. And, a death may come in a very abrupt and spontaneous manner. It could be through fire or gunfire. Some other examples, it might be in the military, serving the military through a war. It could be as a result of a sharp instrument, as another example. Now, Pluto is also connected with support, whether it's emotional, moral, or monetary support. And having Pluto in Aries, and the support may be given in a very impulsive manner with little hesitation or procrastination. It's important to be careful not to be too impulsive and giving too much to the wrong people or persons or what have you. Might be done in a very aggressive manner, and the person may be outspoken and direct in these matters as well, such as like, well, I've given you all this support, what have you done for me? Could also be, impatient in these matters, and also about, being supportive, and just doing so in ways where, there's again little hesitation in doing so. It might be someone that's supportive of people that are leaders of law enforcement in general, people that are willing to stand up for themselves. Now, Pluto is also connected with surgery and trauma. So Pluto in Aries may have a little greater propensity than average to have, you know, either some trauma and or surgery associated with the head, the skull, the face, the brain, the eyes. It could be traumatic skull fracture or traumatic brain injury. It may be, you know, some kind of laceration of the face. And this is just, you know, having, again, you know, most of us won't, you know, be around, I don't think, when this transit happens, or at least half of us won't, because we still got, you know, all the practically almost all of Aquarius to go through in the transit, and Pisces. So you figure maybe half of us roughly won't even be around for this transit. But when it does happen, there may be more just, you know, mass, you know, just destruction, you know, through volatile means, I would think, you know, nuclear war, if it hasn't already taken place before then, you know, that's a stronger possibility, I would say. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.